I'd love to know what your impressions of young Austin Matthews, young Mitch Marner, young William Nylander were.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, I remember that training camp in Halifax. The first, I think I was in it because they separate the groups, right? You got like group 1, group 2, and then you have like your group 3 of guys that are kind of fill-ins. So I think I was in the group with Marner. And so I was on the ice with him every day. I was like, this guy's gonna be good this year. Like I was thinking like, this guy could get 50 points this year. Like, yeah, this guy could get 50 points. Like he's good. And then, so usually play your exhibition games with your group, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was just thinking like, okay, every time this guy's on the ice, try and look for him, like if you can. And they were super impressive. And then at some point in training camp, you kind of do like this flip flop or like morphing of the two groups. So then you get in a group with Matthews, and I was like, this guy can fire the pill. Like,
even back then, right?
Like, yeah, he was just so big. Like an 18-year-old kid to be built that way he was big and strong and he could move so well. He was so agile, so mobile. So no one expected him to score 4 goals in his first game, but right. I wasn't surprised. Like I remember being at that game in Ottawa when he scored the first one, and I was like, yeah, that's not a surprise. I mean, the next 3 were, caught me off guard, but it was unbelievable to see those guys come in and have so much confidence right away.
Jeez.
I have 2 fan questions I wanted to get to from our Discord community. One was pertaining to the Leafs, so I think it applies here. Congord asked, what is one player perk you really enjoyed while playing with the Leafs? Something that other teams didn't have that the Leafs had in their system.
Great question.
I don't know about if it's something the Leafs have that the other teams don't have. I could probably 2 right off the top of my head. One thing the Leafs have that the other teams don't have, I'll tell you right now, is their pregame meal, the pasta sauce, the rosé sauce. Nonna, I hope you're not listening, but it's right up there with like Nonna's. It's unbelievable. It's incredible.
Is that in the restaurant underneath the stands?
Yeah. So we all eat pregame meal down there in I think it's called the Platinum Lounge.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Dude. I would do sick things for some of that, like a plate of linguine with that rosé sauce.
Ooh. Oh. So you do carb load before a game?
Well, I mean, you take it easy. You can't go crazy. But it got to the point, I'm not gonna lie, it got to the point where I knew I probably wasn't playing that. I knew I wasn't playing that game, and I probably wasn't playing in the foreseeable future. There was a pile of pasta it was crazy. I had just think about it. I had just done a workout and then bag skated for 45 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm crushing this pasta. I need something to hang on to here,
Yeah. Well, and what was the other thing you said? So the rosé sauce
so
was number one.
The other thing is every team has a team services guy. So basically this guy is your go-to guy. Now, I'm not going to call him a concierge because that's he does way more than that. But restaurant reservations, if you just need certain things and you're not in the NHL anymore when you make dinner reservations on Open Table. Okay. That's when you go on Open Table and you type in 2 people 7 p.m. Yeah, we can't fit you in. But back when you're in the NHL, you call team services guy. Hey, can we get to this restaurant at 7 p.m. for 2 people? Yep, no problem. Done. You're in.
Oh wow.
Probably night of too.
Yeah, not night of, 2 hours before.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
cool.
What was the other question?
And then the other question comes from Ada. They say they've been wondering this for about nearly 7 years, and they can't find video coverage of it anywhere. In an early season Leafs game, you jumped into the press box to avoid a too many men penalty, and then, if they're not mistaken, crawled along the boards to the bench. Did this happen, or did they imagine this?
Where the color commentator is? Where Ray Ferraro goes?
Yeah.
You jumped into that?
Is this true?
I don't remember, but it sounds like something that I would do for sure.
Okay.
I don't want to take that. I don't want to take the too many men penalty. I have enough issues staying in the lineup as it is. You think I want to take a too many men penalty?
Hey, Frank.
Jump to the other team's bench and climb across. I don't care.
Frank, you played with Morgan Rielly, just signed his big extension. Can you tell us what Morgan's like?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's obviously turned into like a big leader for that team, and he's obviously been there a long time, and he's great. Like he's just got this great demeanor, this kind of calming presence, and he's a fun guy to hang out with and be around with the team. And I think he embodies a lot of what it is to be a Maple Leaf in this day and age, and in his involvement in the community and what he brings to the table on the ice, and his kind of his whole work ethic. And I think he's, the fact that he's going to be there long term and potentially finish his career as a Leaf is, I think he's the perfect guy to kind of take on that responsibility, being here long term. I think it's great. He's awesome. He's great.
I've always wondered this about guys, because you grew up a Leafs fan, yeah?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So I've always wondered about guys who come here, and I don't want a blanket statement say your experience was negative, but you were scratched a lot. Are you still a Leafs fan?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I would say that since I've been playing in Europe, I probably have a little more of that back. When I was playing in North America, no, because you're always affiliated with a different franchise, and you're kind of still in that realm. But I think just being in Europe, I find myself more interested in how the Leafs are doing, or even just following up more. I mean, now that I'm home, I'm watching pretty much every game. So it's nice to kind of see it from that point of view. So it is a little different though, when you grow up and then you go through the junior ranks and the pro ranks, and that kind of it kind of falls by the wayside because you're just heavily into it. Right. And then, but yeah, I don't know, I don't see myself cheering for any other team when hockey's done, so as time goes on, we'll see.
Well, and I mean, at one point you did play your first game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got to do that. You got to live the dream that we all grew up wanting to do. Do you remember that night? Do you remember, were your parents there? What do you remember about that first game, putting on that jersey for the first time and going, I'm actually suiting up for this. This is really going to happen.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool. We had a ton of people, because I'd probably known a day or two before that I was going to play. So we had a ton of people in the stands. And yeah, it was cool to just finally pull the jersey over and say, I'm actually going to play a game tonight. It's going on the record. And you kind of I don't know if any other hockey guy does this, but sometimes you get to certain milestones in your career, and you kind of look at it, you're yeah, no one could take this one from me. This one's legit. It's in the book. So that was kind of the feeling I had.
And you scored a goal. Do you remember that? Not in your first game.
Yeah.
Do you remember your goal?
Yeah, for sure. It was it was a backhand on Freddie Anderson. I think I teased him about it the next year, but
that's pretty cool.
I probably shouldn't have. Freddie's the best. Freddie's the nicest guy. He's yeah, do it in practice or something like that,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I do remember it was just a backhand off the pad. And I remember that game being pretty good. I remember I played that second half of the season after we had made all those trades. I was playing, but I was couple games would be good, couple games would be pretty poor. It was just so inconsistent. So I just remember that game sticking out as a game where everything kind of came together pretty good.
So what's that like? Because Babcock kind of straight up said after his time with the Leafs, well, the mission that year was to finish last, and we did. What is it like to get all that playing time, and you think you're doing individually well, but the mission of the team is not to do so well after all the trades at the deadline?
Yeah, I don't know that. I hate that quote. It's so weird because you have players in that room who don't necessarily want to lose. I understand as an organization, it's what you need to rebuild. Obviously, getting Austin is incredible, but it just makes me wonder about the just the way the way you communicate with guys, the tactics you do. Okay, so were you trying to do things to throw players off so they wouldn't play well, or did you genuinely give your best to the players so they could be good players, but we just weren't good enough and we ended up coming in last place? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, it screwed me up as a Leafs fan because I always want them to win. but I knew they had a really good shot at the first overall pick. And I was looking at a guy like you would have been part of that team where Colin Greening was scoring at the best pace of his entire career. And I was like, dude, you're going to screw this up for all of us.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like guys are getting an opportunity and they're like, I want to play in the NHL. Like I want to do well, get my next contract. And, it's high stakes for the players. I understand it's high stakes for the organization. I'm not saying it was the wrong move. It's actually it's the best thing that could have happened for the organization. But every player in the room wanted to do well. Like there wasn't guys just saying like, yeah, I'm going to mail it today. Like, no one's
everyone on the ice is trying to win every game.
Yeah. Like no one's sitting there tying their skates, looking at the guy next to them and be like, what a mail job I'm going to do today. Like, no one's saying that's ridiculous. Like everyone wants to win. Like guys leave the rink. Even in that situation, guys leave the rink pissed because we lost. It's just is what it is.
So okay. So you're at home now, getting healed up. Do we know? Are you allowed to talk about when you think you'll be ready to go?
You know what? It's kind of not that it's touch and go. I would hopefully in the new year sometime early in the new year is kind of my goal. I'm just kind of trying to get because
Sorry. No, continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good. Like I have the hip, and then just my knee has been the biggest issue. Because I had ACL reconstruction back in 2018, and then I had when I was playing with the Marlies in 2019, I had a quadriceps tendon issue with that knee as well. So that's kind of been the biggest hurdle, the thing I always have to kind of maintain and take care of the most. And so now just add the hip on that, but it's making progress. One day at a time.
If the Leafs, because we've seen like Josh Hosang lighten it up in the AHL, it seems like he's really found a spot. If the Leafs ever called again and said, "Hey, we want to bring you back, put you on the Marlies, and there's another shot," because if you're on the Marlies, you have a shot at the Leafs, right? Is that something you'd ever go back to? Because obviously you did it before, but
yeah, oh for sure. But I mean, that's not that it's to say it's wishful thinking, but it would it would be awesome. It would be really cool. I could tell you, I don't know, I'll share it with you. When I came back to the Marlies in 2018 after my ACL, that was totally out of the blue. So I had got cleared and my agent was kind of reaching out to teams to see if there was any interest out there. And he came back to me, he goes, "You'll never believe who wants you to go." I said, "Who?" He goes, the Leafs. I said, "What?" He said, "Well," he goes, "I got a call from Kyle and he said the Marlies need a defenseman and he'd be willing to have you with the Marlies and he'll give you either an NHL contract if you want or an AHL contract if you want. It's really up to you."
Wow.
And I remember thinking, okay, this is unbelievable. And obviously another factor that goes into that is the Leafs have a gajillion dollars. So it was obviously a great fit that way too. Call it for what it is, right? Like if you're getting offers for less than half, and then obviously the Leafs or Marlies call you, it's obviously piques your interest. So no, but I had a conversation with Kyle, and he basically said, he goes, "Listen, if you want to be on an AHL contract because you know who the coach is and you're probably, you know what that situation is, we can keep you on an AHL contract, and if you play well and another NHL team wants to sign you, we'll let you go. No problem. But it would be great to have you with the Marlies, and we'd like to give you this opportunity."
Wow.
So I thought, yeah. So, I mean, like that, I just think that's incredible. I don't think too many executives in the league think that way, but I think that's the testament to Kyle and the job or how he treats people in the organization.
Follow-up question. Have you ever been to Newfoundland and would you like to?
No. I've never been, but yeah, I get where you're going with that.
Just throwing it out there.
Know.
I don't know who listens.
GMs.
I'm trying to be your agent. I'm not as good as Alan Walsh, but I'm trying. I listen to his show though, so I learn.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been out there, but I heard it's great, and I heard the people are incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good. Oh.
We got it. Can we do the impression thing now? Because I sort of did promise it.
And to be honest, I told CJ there was an 86% chance I was going to do an impression today.
Okay. All right.
But
go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
No, I need to, like, Steve needs to do it. Like, we need a setup. I can't just.
I'll do it first.
So hold up. Just so everybody is clear here. Frankie, you've been such a class act given what happened to you in Toronto, and we'll just leave it at that. But we would be remiss if we did not have a Mike Babcock impression off. So Frank told me on text that he does a mean Mike Babcock impression. We know Steve does one. So who wants to go first? And then we're going to let the audience decide.
Steve goes first.
I'll go first.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll let you humble me because, well, Frank, I used to think I did a pretty good one, and you're doing all the right things. You eat right, you act right, you skate right, and guess what? You're sitting again tonight there, bud. How's that?
That's great. How long did that take you to get right?
It took, I just try to act right and eat right and do my impression right, and good things will happen. How's that?
Oh, that's great.
Always how's that at the end.
Yeah,
Always.
Oh, man. Yeah, so this one always came out. I don't know if you remember this one. So, he's a good man, comes from a good family, and we like his work ethic, and he starts on time, and those are big components to being a Toronto Maple Leaf on my team.
Yes.
But
Loved it.
The ridiculous thing, I don't want to take any more of your time, but like the ridiculous thing, what does all that mean?
They're just words.
Comes from a good fan. Like, how do you know? And what if he doesn't? You're gonna treat him different? Like,
do you know his dad?
What if he's a good person despite his circumstances?
it's unbelievable. Wow.
Frank, what if he doesn't? Frank, man, what a pleasure this has been. And the only reason we're cutting you off is because we're running out of showtime. Would you come back?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So maybe we'll have you back maybe before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'd love to get your takes on like things that are happening now too in the game. Like you're amazing. You're a great storyteller. So much fun. This was great. So thank you for your time today, man. You were just a real pleasure to talk to and get to know.
No worries. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.